Welcome, everybody, to the New Orleans Saints franchise on Madden 24. It is time for the first off-season of this series. It really is the true starting point as we prepare for Season 2. We got a lot of work to do with this team, a lot of changes to make, and today we finally get started making this team our own. Welcome in, everybody. I'll probably get really started here in a few minutes as the stream loads up for everybody and everybody gets those notifications, but thank you all for being here. Haven't done one of these off seasons in a while, and I am ready for this one. The Saints were one of the reasons I picked the Saints is because of the first off season or two that we were going to go on were unique compared to a lot of others because of their financial situation, because of their team age. I will say I think that our challenge today got a lot easier because of two things. And actually, I'm thinking year two's off season is going to be significantly more challenging. Matt Canada is finally gone, Kane. Yeah, what took so long, man? That Pittsburgh passing game has been atrocious for a while. If Jalen Warren ain't getting the ball, it's probably a bad play. That's the way it's been all year for them. So, the thing we talk about a lot here with the Saints and the challenge with their roster is starting with the salary cap. And I kind of wish there was a way to turn off cap rollover, because in year one, we had like $30 million in cap space just kind of inexplicably, and that's going to make today's offseason easier because that space rolled over for us, and there is no way to turn off rollover. Like in real life, there is rollover, but the cap figures were off in franchise, so it actually makes our journey today a little bit easier, along with the retirement of Cam Jordan, which, we have an older roster. I expected at least one retirement. And Jordan was due like $22 or $24 million to the cap. That doesn't mean that's how much cash he was making, but that's how much his cap number was. He retired, giving us an additional $20 million to work with. So we're going to start today with effectively $12 million. We're under the cap. However, that's not with a 53-man roster, and that's obviously not a lot to work with. I appreciate it, Capix and Jacob. What's the plan for tonight? I say defense. Yeah, I think I'd like to supplement the offense with maybe an offensive lineman and a playmaker or two, but otherwise, I'm really trying to get the defense rebuild going because of how old everything is there. So the first domino has already fallen with the retirement of Cam Jordan. And, edge rusher was already in need to begin with, but factor in that Demario Davis is now 35, Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus May, both are north of 30. Who is the young superstar we're building around? Is it Brian Bresee? 76 overall? I mean, he looked fine at times in year one, but he's still a work in progress. Obviously, our best prime defensive player, that's Marshawn Lattimore. And these guys in the NFL don't stay young for long. I mean, he's already going to be entering year 8. So the clock's ticking, He's going to be one of those old guys here pretty soon. Hey, Kane, love the content. As a Commanders fan, I have lost all hope for this real-life football season. Yeah, when Tommy DeVito throws 3 touchdowns and you lose to the Giants twice, I think you got to throw in the towel on the expectations there. I'm sorry. So yeah, as I've thought about this team and how I want to rebuild it, I have a real sense of urgency with the defense early on, because it's going to get worse before it gets better. Our best players for the most part are regressing, retiring, and we need to replace them. And we don't have that many picks to do it. The Saints, they'll mortgage their future to try and get a half win extra on their Vegas total in the offseason. They'll sacrifice whatever it takes. They are such a short-sighted organization They have no 3rd-round pick, no 4th-round pick. We do have 2 5s because I traded away Jamal Williams, but we need to get more. So I already mentioned in my video yesterday 2 players I was thinking about trading tonight, and that's Michael Thomas and Marcus May, which would then cause us to have to replace those guys, but we don't have mid-round picks, and I feel like we really need to get more to get this team younger and to start the roster transition. There's only so much I can do with these picks that are at 137 and later, so it feels right now like a 2-pick class. I already want to trade away a couple players, and I'm most likely right now thinking about moving down from 19. And yes, if I trade players, cut players, there might be some dead cap. And the other thing, too, is just, to field a roster, I have $12 million in space. And that's not including a backup quarterback. That's, we're probably going to have to add a receiver if we move on from Thomas. That's probably going to be a rookie if we make a move there. And then we're losing a lot of depth as well. And, I need to add a couple things to this defense. So, we're going to see how challenging this really ends up being tonight. Falcons season was over. Dobbs cooked us. You got to love Josh Dobbs. Most interesting Madden rebuild team storyline. I'm a little biased here, but I think the Saints entering year 2 and year 3 even, because this will be the last thing I want to do before we really get started. But I said earlier that I think year 2's offseason might be tougher, and that's because we're probably not going to have the same cap rollover in year 2. I'm not going to have a lot of space this year. I have to field a roster. And check out how more of these numbers spike. Kamara is going to have a quarterback cap number. Carr is going to have an elite quarterback cap number. Marshawn Lattimore is going to be making 28.7 to the cap. Year 3, I might have to sign a million undrafted free agents or something. I don't know how I'm going to do it next year. It's going to be challenging. Hey, Kane, sorry for last Sunday, but my Broncos had to win that one. They making the playoffs or what? Man, it's going to be tough there in the AFC. I think that it's going to be a bloodbath there towards the end, but the Broncos have turned their season around. I don't think that I would favor them to make the playoffs right now, but if they clean up in the division, they should be able to be in that 7-seed mix. It's been a long time since seeing one of your off-season streams. Super excited. Thank you, Ian. 6'5" corner, please, Kane. Yep, we got some big corners in this class tonight. I'm looking forward to having a chance at drafting. I appreciate all the super chats, everybody. And let's have a good Thanksgiving Eve here. Let's kick off the holiday season a little bit. So our first order of business tonight is going to be re-signing our free agents. We got 23 players, expiring deals, $12 million in space, and you cannot trade in this stage. So if you want the cap room to sign these guys ahead of free agency, you have to release players. And luckily for me, there's not a lot I want to do here outside of bringing back Cesar Ruiz, who thankfully has some interest in coming back. And I'm just not going to let a player, a solid, young, average starter, I don't want to have to replace that right now. I don't have the money. And I think he can still get a lot better from here. So I do want to bring back Cesar Ruiz. I'm thinking more of a multi-year deal. And if I do a multi-year deal, that gives me some extra flexibility to restructure his contract in the future. And that's probably going to have to be a big part of what we try doing here. I'm not going to increase the offer because I'm trying to spend as little money here as possible. As a matter of fact, it's tempting to try and lower the offer, but I don't want to compete with anyone to bring back an offensive line starter. So I'm going to offer a 3-year deal. And the first domino has fallen here in the offseason as we sign Cesar Ruiz, which cuts our cap space to 6.7. Is that visible above my head? Oh yeah, way up there. Yeah, let me turn the music down a little bit. I had turned it up prior to going live. Thanks for always streaming fairly early. As a European, it's nice not to have to stay awake until 5 or 6 a.m. Yeah, what is it over there, like 11:30? It's a little more reasonable. You know, from the beginning here, I always had a fairly big international audience, so I always tried to be mindful of other time zones, and I'm not much of a night owl myself anymore, so I don't want to stream at like 9 or 10 o'clock. Kane, is your playbook on Madden share? I think so. I do think it is. It's called Saints V1, if I'm not mistaken. So we signed one free agent, and that's probably going to be all we do here, especially because most of these players aren't interested in coming back, so the decision is kind of already made for me in a lot of cases. So we're just going to withdraw all these offers, and I want to know how many players are under contract with this $6.7 million, because I've got to get to 53. You got to have depth, and I know that 6.7 is not gonna fill that. For $6.7 million, you can sign probably 13 undrafted free agents, and that's not how I'm trying to make this team fit this year, but there probably are going to be a lot of UDFAs. I could see like 3 or 4 UDFAs making this team, depending on how our late round picks go, and if we accumulate a lot of selections. We got to get the team younger, man. You got to rip the Band-Aid off. I think the Falcons ripped it off for us with those 2 gut-wrenching losses. Rashid Shaheed, it would be nice to have him under contract. I want to say 2022 was his rookie year, but Madden doesn't really put in the undrafted contracts very well. So technically, he really should be under contract with us, but I never edited him like a 3-year deal. So he's just going to hit free agency. And we'll see if we can find a player to play that role, because I think he was an underutilized player, but I can find speedy guys like this. This is a skill set that's all over the classes. He might be a little bit better after the catch than a lot of them, but that skill set's out there. All right, I guess we're going to stage 1. I have 47 players under contract right now. Does that include last year's practice squad players? Like Jamar Jefferson was not on the active roster, so what is the real number effectively? Closer to 35, 40? Like all these receivers here are not actually like core roster players. So I'm going to put Michael Thomas here on the trade block. And I'm also going to be putting on Marcus May on the block. I talked about using those 2 players to help get us more cap space. Their contracts are a little more tradable. And, you know, I'm not sure what the trade finder is going to tell us here. I try to keep my trades pretty reasonable, so I'm not ripping off the CPU and shortchanging the rebuild. When it comes to pick value, I'm not taking more than a 4 for either player. I don't know what the offers are going to be, but I will not take a 3. It has to be a 4 or lower. They're older players, 1-year contracts, so I shouldn't be getting like top 100 picks for them. Player lock. I don't really do player lock in Madden. Would I consider trading Kamara for a mid-round draft pick? Depends on the cap penalty for us. A late 3? If it's a late 3. If it's a top 100 pick, probably not. And I guess there's 96 picks in the first 3 rounds. Appreciate the super chat, Derek. How is the wife? Will she ever make an appearance on the channel? I don't know about that, but we're doing great over here. Thank you for the super chat. That was kind of a cursed franchise, Evan. That I had like a vision for that series and it didn't quite hit, and I haven't tried that. I've evolved my player lock, or I've evolved what I want to do in terms of that kind of franchise. Hey, Kane, do you have a favorite group of 5 quarterback that you're surprised to see still playing football? Mine is Cody Fajardo, still being great in the CFL. Isn't Swag Kelly in the CFL doing a good job? How about AJ McCarron when he was lighting up the XFL, I believe it was, and I thought he might get onto an NFL backup job again, and that never happened. Make sure you look at injury ratings for draft prospects. I drafted a QB with 36. Are you doing a second channel franchise this year? Appreciate it, Albert. I'll be watching out for those injuries. I'm really hesitant with those F injuries early in drafts. Oh, he is the backup in Cincy right now. Did that just happen? Because obviously they've had Browning, and he played the other night. I don't know if they just got AJ back. And in terms of a second channel franchise, I'm planning on doing that in December on the second channel. Are we getting more UTSA Dynasty soon? Yes. Episode Saturday and another one before Saturday next week. So we're going to get back to it here. We have a game on Saturday, and then I have more in the works afterwards. All right. Not much has happened. I re-signed Cesar Ruiz, and I'm answering questions and just hanging out with the chat here pretty much. So let's take a look at the free agent market then. Something we can't really be a part of. So Tyron Smith, Keenan Allen, Stephon Gilmore are available. The Chargers, to sign some of their free agents, had to make room, and they cut Keenan Allen and Mike Williams to do it. So those two guys have become available. You got Micah Hyde, Levante David, Bobby Wagner. Not a star-studded class. Kirk Cousins is there. Baker Mayfield. We do have to add a backup quarterback at some point, but that's probably a very late in the offseason move because, backup quarterbacks aren't going to sign for dirt cheap right now, and we might have to go that route later on. But, we're not going to be active here. I'm just looking to see if there's like a bargain free agent of some sort. Like, we need more pass rushers. So if I can sign somebody for a couple $1 million, that would be a fit. Like, that's the kind of move I think I'm interested in. A Dante Fowler, maybe. If I could get somebody who has a mentor tag there, that'd be really good. I plan on hopefully adding an edge rusher in the class. Chandler Jones is there, but he's not going to sign. He wants $8.6 million. Like, if I want to be looking for cheap players here, I have to go in like the low 70s range, and those guys are going to be available for a while. So I don't know, like a James Smith Williams maybe. Like, this is not going to be flashy, guys. I can barely order off the value menu at McDonald's right now. Like, we do not have the room. Just a heads up, Kane, started watching the series. Episode 7 isn't in the rebuild playlist. Appreciate that. I'll open up a tab here and I will get that fixed. You said episode 6? Oh, I see episode 6 in there. I'll take a look. Yeah, we're going to have to do our trades, I think, immediately. I do have Jake Haener. We do have a backup there. Okay. Y'all saying don't forget about Jake Haener. I think they drafted him, right? They spent a pick on the guy. Jake Haener, Fresno State. He actually got suspended in the offseason. I forget for what. That's backup quarterback worthy. Mobility, short accuracy, weak arm. I mean, this guy's got the Case Keenum skill set down to a T. So, that's not bad for backup quarterback. Episode 7. Ah, you're right. I'm gonna fix that right now. And I appreciate that. So yeah, thank you for reminding me about Jake Haener, because I think he was on the IR all year. And obviously you had Winston as a backup, so it's like it was easy for him to kind of slip through the cracks a little bit. I'm trying to see how I can reorder these videos quick, and it's being really annoying. But yeah, I guess with Jake Haener, we don't really have to look at finding a backup quarterback then. And I'll say right now, he's a 4th round pick. That's fairly early. I don't think I'm going to be drafting a quarterback this year. The best option is a solid 1st round quarterback who is injury prone. It just doesn't feel like the right time to add a quarterback to me. I feel like with our lack of money and picks, we need to start building a core and then add a quarterback to it when there's a year with more options. And plus, like, who's to say that quarterback ends up actually being there when we select? So, come on, how do I... I'm having a heck of a time here trying to move this video up in the order. All right. I found the menu I need. Thank you for helping me fix my channel during the stream. It's fixed. What do you think of Brock Purdy? Happy Thanksgiving. I think he's solid, you know. I think that he's the right player in the right situation. I don't think that... You know, I do think like the Shanahan scheme and that offense, like it's an easier place for a quarterback to succeed. You're getting well coached. You have good playmakers, but I still think you got to give him his credit. You know, he's still the one who's got to let it rip at times, and he's got to process things. And I don't think he should be shortchanged for that. Although I'd say he has one of the easier quarterback jobs, but I think he's, you know, legit starter. Is Taysom Hill cuttable? There's still a sizable penalty there. That's the thing. Like, yes, I can do that to save... here's the most I can save here. Matthew. That's actually a pretty cuttable deal. Jawan Johnson. If I need the money. But Taysom Hill, we have to eat so much. If I need that 4, if I'm desperate, then we might... James Hurst, his deal's probably pretty cuttable. I can play Saldiveri. And I have Ruiz back, so... Yeah, I think I'm going to make that room here. Hurst is a low tier starter. So I honestly don't think he'd carry any trade value, like in real life. His true overall is a 73. That +3 is temporary. I'm not even sure if anybody will be willing to trade. Yeah, there are no trade packages for him. So I'm going to make some room here by releasing James Hurst. Tano Passanio, we'd free up a couple, eating a little penalty there. He didn't really play a whole lot last year, and if I have depth, I want my depth to be a little bit younger or be somebody who can make an impact right now, and I don't think that's him. So we're going to release Tano Passanio. And then, you know, I have some players here who are probably not making the team I could also look at releasing. Like a 61 overall at 25 years old, that's just, and can't run routes. Like, I'm not developing that skill set. So I can make the cap space look a little bit better, but we're well under 53 players right now. So this gets us back to $12 million. Peyton Turner's not under contract. I let him hit free agency. So right now at edge rusher, wait, I thought, okay, it was the 5th-year option on Turner. It wasn't actually re-signing. Kiefer, I appreciate the, is that New Zealand dollars? What's the New Zealand dollar called? Is it just called the dollar? How do you handle bad cap space? My Dolphins franchise is negative 55 million. I'm not a miracle worker, man. Negative 55? You probably have to get rid of Tyreek, Ramsey. You got to get rid of a lot of stuff. 55 million, dude. That's a deep hole. You better start digging. So yeah, Peyton Turner, I forgot. He was a first-round pick, and this was actually his 5th-year option year, which I did not want to pick up. But he should play this year then. So if the season started right now, our edge rushers are Isaiah Foskey and Peyton Turner. We all feel confident about that situation? Asezi Otomewo? So if I could maybe get an edge rusher that has the mentor tag, that'd be a plus. And like I said, you know, I'm looking to trade Marcus May and Michael Thomas today to help get some more space on this team. So like I said, I'm not accepting more than a 4th-round pick for these veterans. I think that a 4 is even pretty generous, I think, with trade value. But I think it's fair. And I just want to run the finder and see what it spits. Jalen Naylor, a 5 and a 7. That Naylor actually would be a good Rashid Shaheed replacement. That's an interesting offer there from Minnesota. He's kind of like just a, you know, a 5 overall less version of Shaheed, but he's not a player I want to acquire. And I'm also on the hard difficulty when it comes to trades because I felt like the values there were a little bit better. And maybe that's keeping the CPU from offering me anything too favorable. So I'm only getting offers from Minnesota right now for Marcus May. They're offering a 5 and a 7. I'm sure I could turn this perhaps into like a 4. The Vikings were one of the worst teams. It'd be the 110th pick. I think I haven't caught a stream since I first became a member, and now it's 59 months. Time flies when you watch awesome Kane content. Greetings from NL. The hell is NL? Newfoundland, Netherlands. There we go. I was going to get there eventually. I appreciate it. Don't stay up too late now. A 4 and a 7. Newfoundland. That was my first thing. I was thinking Canada. All right. Minnesota, do you want to do business? We got a 4 and a 7 for Marcus May. I thought it might be a little fair for me to throw in like a 6 with a little pick swap, but I'm taking that package there for Marcus May. So now there's a hole at safety that could be filled by Jordan Howden. He, I think, has starting potential right away. He can fly around and hit guys a little bit, but he's not going to be great in coverage. Been watching content for over 10 years now, and it's still going strong. Go Falcons. Weren't those 2 games enough against me? Let's see what they'll offer me for Michael Thomas. Oh, I thought that was just the 7. DeMarcus Walker in a 7. Tyler Steen, Tyler Algier, Khalif Raymond, Terrace Marshall. Well, I'm not going to trade him to a division rival. Dude, Marcus Jones there. Interesting. It's not Puka from real life, though, because I am at 71 normal. Tylan Wallace. All right. You know I can't accept that. You know I cannot accept that. That is that is bad. Thoughts on the Denver Broncos at the moment? They're doing all right. They're getting better. They're improving a lot. Defense has come far. Offense, you know, I still don't really like it. I think that, you know, they're getting some good things out of Sutton and that backfield rotation. But I think that what they're really missing is Judy being the expectation, you know? I kind of like the idea of trading him to Baltimore. Or the Jags. Great content as always, Kane. Go Commanders. Also, TJ Hawkinson has been helping my fantasy team to not be terrible. Yeah, TJ has been, he's had a really good year. You know, I don't think it started out great, you know, with the Vikings losing. There were some plays he didn't make in some of those games, but the dude just gets, like, destroyed on every throw that goes his way. He catches most of them. He's had to fight through a lot of pain this year. The Jaguars got like an edge rusher here or something that I can maybe add. No. Why would they offer like red interest on most of these teams? You know what team would make sense actually? Another Sean Payton Saints Broncos reunion, and they have yellow interest. They can barely take on his cap. I don't know if they have a player I want. I might just end up, actually, there are a couple pass rushers here I wouldn't be, against attempting to add. But I'm probably better off just drafting my own dudes. So, Denver. Sean Payton. Can I get a 4 for Michael Thomas? I can. Okay. Michael Thomas is traded to the Denver Broncos. Another Sean Payton Denver reunion. And that was, I think, the easiest way for us to make a little money. I think A.T. Perry can slide into that Michael Thomas role. I think that his route running can get a lot better over the course of the year. He's got more athleticism. And I really do believe in Perry's future if we get him the ball and develop him a lot this coming season. So I'm putting some faith here in the 6th rounder from a couple years ago. So those were kind of necessary moves to me to get this team financially at least started. You know, now we have $18 million in cap space, and that's enough to start adding a couple players. I haven't even offered a deal to anybody yet, but I think pass rusher is where I want to go. Ideally, a mentor. Just taking a look at my options here. Robert Quinn. Josh Uche. Yeah, $15 million a year. I'm not even going to think about that. Justin Houston at 70. Well, I'll look at safeties now because we opened up a spot there. Under $5 million, you can maybe add a starter or just play Jordan Howden. Probably going to call him Jordan Howard at some point. Jaron Curse, 5 a year. I do like Jaron Curse, but he's already 30. Just don't think it's the right move there. One thing I would explore here is possibly signing back Shaheed for a season. I know he doesn't have a lot of interest, though, in coming back. So we might have to find somebody else that plays the same way he does. Like, I'm not going to get this to work. Oops. I have enough room to maybe add 1 or 2 starters here defensively. Just trying to make those picks kind of count. Like, a Granderson reunion does make a little sense because he's 27, not going to command the hugest salary. But even if he is looking for 8 a year, I'm not going to 8. Maybe a Morgan Fox, James Houston. 25 star dev, 73 overall. I think when I saw him earlier, I assumed it was Justin Houston at first. He might also be available. That might actually be one of the best players for us to go after here. James Houston. 84 speed, 79 power moves. Started with Detroit, 8 sacks in 22, and then nothing here in 23, and then he's just cut. All right, I think James Houston is going to be perhaps our big free agent target. Oh, this is wild. And I have to be cheap here and, like, try to lowball him a little bit, I think. Like, I can't give out the best offer. I can go a little bit better. $4 bars. All right. I offered 4 bars. And then, you know, you can also look at like a second chance contract for a guy like AJ Epinesa, who's only 25 years old. And I feel like he's somebody we can move around the line a little bit. Like you could Cam Jordan. Play him inside, play him outside. I'm only going to go 1 year on this offer because he doesn't have the star dev like James Houston does. But those are the kinds of moves that I think make sense for us. You know, a run game clogger would be interesting. I think we probably already have those guys, though, in this overall tier. Do you knock out multiple franchise games before you upload? You know, at times I do. I haven't really lately. But with me going to be wrapping up UTSA's current season soon, there probably will be a lot more batch recording for me when it comes to Saints franchise, so we can move faster in year 2. Zaire Franklin, 28 years old. Kenneth Murray on a second chance deal. If I sort by zone coverage, you got Levante David, Patrick Queen, who wants probably way more than I can even consider. Drew Tranquil. I do like Drew Tranquil. Landon Collins, Chris Barnes. Kind of looking for 25, 26-year-old players here in this range who could still, like, be a little bit of a surprise for us. Like, you know, some of these guys are going to have to play. So imagine they end up, you know, getting, like, a breakout scenario or just get a lot of playing time. Like, there's possibilities of them actually being really good on that second contract with us. We just got to find the players that make the most sense. Geno Stone. We do need safety depth. I feel like there's too much overlap with Howden's skill set, and what he does have, Howden is better at. So I'd rather find a player whose skill set's a little bit more different. I don't have a punter yet. We're probably going to wait on that for a while. I'm going to take a look at the tight ends as well. Yeah, I just don't see us doing a whole lot here. I think I should add a 6th lineman, though. Like, we're bound to see some injuries there, so a little bit of depth would be nice. Saved a couple million cutting Hurst, and I think we could better spend that money if we find the right player. Ideally, someone who's also interested in us, so I don't have to offer way more than I should. Like, Cam Fleming could probably play a few spots, right? Or am I thinking of Cameron Irving? Yeah, he played at, like, 5 positions, but didn't play them, like, particularly great. Was Donald Parham available? He's actually really interested in us. We do have Foster Moreau, who's actually on like a decent contract. I don't know if it's super cuttable. Yeah, Parham's all right. I don't know if it makes sense for us right now. I can probably get a UDFA with that same skill set. We'll look at our roster again quick. Appreciate over 1,100 being here on the night before Thanksgiving. Thank you all. Olave and Perry are the only receivers returning from last year right now. Yeah, we can't really do anything with Moreau's contract. Must have been too guaranteed. We would literally lose cap space to get rid of him. So he's uncuttable. But as far as the offensive line goes, I do want a little more depth than this. I have some targets in the draft that I like. And here's the new updated draft picks. So maybe we can parlay some of these picks into like a third rounder possibly. Might be challenging to move up that far because it'd probably be, you know, a 30 or 40 pick difference there we're making up from 108. But at least it's something. A lot of day 3 picks now to work with. I'm not really sure how some of those like contracts work out if I trade, because I would be interested in trading Moreau, but I don't know if we have to incur some sort of penalty in doing so, or how much cap space actually gets cleared by trading. It says 30.8 right there. Yeah, let me get some more music going here, Breezy. I appreciate the super chat. I was just getting tired of that song. Actually, a little decent offer there from Washington. Cap hit says 4.4. When you trade someone, you pay all the guaranteed money left on the contract. Right, that's what I thought would happen. And I'm guessing there's a fair bit guaranteed if it's like basically an uncuttable deal. So yeah, there was 7.3 in bonuses we'd still be having to pay. His hit this year is 4.4. So I just don't think we can move him. Is it a little loud? I thought the music was quiet when I was doing my testing, so I'm going to knock it down again. In my Saints franchise, trading made things worse, and that's what I want to avoid. I want to save quick. All right. Any other moves here I want to make right away? Kendrick Bourne's the first receiver interested in us. Traquan Smith. KJ Hamler. Wouldn't be awful there. Jawan Jennings. Ray McLeod. Josh Reynolds. I like Josh Reynolds. Love your content. And do you think the Vikings are going quarterback first round, or are they trusting Dobbs? I have no idea. It's way too early to say now. Things have been moving so fast, and I think it remains to be seen. I have a lot of interest here in adding Josh Reynolds. I want to see if I could get maybe a cheap 1-year offer off here. That might be all I really attempt to do in the first stage. Still looking at some of these backup offensive linemen too. Evan Brown has some interest. I think that could be solid depth. I'm lowballing everybody, though. I'm not expecting a lot of success here. Yeah, Reynolds at 87 speed is brutal, but I felt like because his route runnings, his release were all pretty good, like similar athletically to Michael Thomas, and we could work with Michael Thomas, obviously, last year. So Reynolds would make me feel a little bit better about things, and we certainly can't just add rookies onto what we have right now. So let's get these offers evaluated then after the first stage, and absolutely nothing has happened for us. Nothing happened. Here were the moves that went down, though. Tyron Smith to Atlanta. Not great for us. They also go and get Stephon Gilmore. They're serious. Micah Hyde to the Vikings. Patrick Queen goes to the Cardinals on a 5-year, over $40 million total deal. So nothing here we were going to be competing with. Odell to the Texans. Josh Uche to the Texans. He gets 5 years, $78 million. Grant Delpit to the Eagles. Eric Armstead is signed. The 49ers had to release him to get under the cap. Duvernay to the Lions. That's a pretty big deal. Carl Granderson's going to go to the Steelers. 2 years, close to $17 million for a 77 overall pass rusher. That's the market. LaVisca to the Falcons. That's too much money. They must have a lot of money. Baker Mayfield goes to the Vikings. We're going to evaluate our offers again. I might have to be a little less stingy here, I guess. James Houston is the one I want most. And then I'm going to do a little bit better on my offer for Josh Reynolds. No, I got to go better than that. Oh, this is going to be rough. All right. I don't think we got... Ooh, somebody made a decision. Yes, we got one. All right. Our first free agent addition is James Houston IV, who was released by the Detroit Lions, but he's a young player with some upside that can easily step into some playing time with us. And I think we have more finesse rushers, and so complementing that with some power here in James Houston is a move I really like. So that's the first free agent addition. He's 6'1", 225, by the way. That's the smallest edge rusher I've ever seen. 6'1", 225. But now Rashid Shaheed has interest from the Eagles and Kansas City. Yeah, we're not getting him back. And I'm going to up my offer, I think, again on Josh Reynolds. 3.8. Now it's 3 bars. We're going to evaluate... actually, I think we already evaled 3 times, so we have to sim to the next stage. I'll change numbers and all that stuff later on. I don't think 91 will stay his number. All right, we got a late retirement here. Dennis Kelly. I thought, you know, Demario Davis was always going to be a possibility there. Mock Draft 4, we're going to check that out as well, but I'm still focused a bit on free agency. Houston wears numbers in the 40s because he's the 4th. That's a good enough reason for me to give him a number in the 40s then. Kendrick Bourne. KJ Hamler. Could be one of those veteran speed options for us. Getting down here in the more obscure territory. Denzel Mims. Is there anything here? I was a big fan of his coming out of Baylor. For now, I'm still focused on trying to get Josh Reynolds. Let's evaluate. Nothing. Let's evaluate again. Decision made. AJ Epinesa. Okay. So I feel a lot better now. Not a lot better, but we have 4 edge rushers under contract that I think can play. The bar is not high. We have Peyton Turner and Isaiah Foskey, and now 2 25-year-olds we add in James Houston and AJ Epinesa. If we can throw a rookie into that mix, we see where that takes us. And Epinesa, to me, like super Cam Jordan light in terms of being able to move inside, outside. I think we could play him at, interior rusher at times, like I did sometimes with Cam. So I do like that versatility a lot. I'm still waiting on Josh Reynolds. Ooh. And we got him. Okay. So Josh Reynolds will join our receiving core, replacing Michael Thomas. And given A.T. Perry has very low release right now, it was important for me to get somebody else that might be able to play a little bit on the outside. Like if we're in 2 receiver sets, who are the 2 receivers? Olave and who? Probably Josh Reynolds right now at 75 release versus Perry's 69 until that gets better. If I want to sort just by release for that reasoning, 82 is the best we can do. Jawan Jennings wouldn't have been a bad player to consider as well. Arguably a better fit than Josh Reynolds. Reynolds might have the edge in route running. And actually, Reynolds is seeing morale down, so a lot of these are actually better than what they're showing. Safety depth would be cool. Ooh, Ashton Davis. That would be like the skill set complement to Jordan Howden for me, being that he's got more of that center field skill set at safety. 85 injury on him. And also consider, if this year doesn't go well, Tyrann Mathieu probably a guy we trade at the deadline, so having somebody else that could step in and play, that would be obviously nice to prioritize. He's not super interested in us, but I might throw an offer his way. Aloe Gilman. Nope. Not the skill set I need. Justin Evans. Or a reunion with Lonnie Johnson. It's not super flashy, but he's got a little bit of man cover skill. Thoughts on the Lions this season? Also, we should have lost to the Bears. Yeah, they pulled that one out, but The Lions they're a great team. I've been a fan of their rebuild, and I'm happy to see them having success this year. I've watched that fan base, suffer long enough. Even if they're a rival team, like, I can't be mad at them building the right way and having their moment. I might just throw an offer at Johnson again, see if he comes back. He was on the roster last year. Oops. Sutton probably should get a spec catch update. He's been making some ridiculous catches. The one 2 weeks ago, or that one against the Bills, that was pretty nuts. I want to check out Mock Draft 4 and just see what things are looking like right now. I still feel like trading down is our best option. They got us going Kentrell Samuel, and I do like the first and second round receivers that could go in this range. Where's the quarterback? There is a first round quarterback in this class. They have him falling out of the first round now. That's Chad Watkins. And basically, I'm saying I'm not taking him in the first round. He's got elite throw power. He actually has pretty good movement, although 4.7 speed is not like great. It's functional. I think he's very much like Derek Carr in terms of athleticism. He's going to be able to scramble if it's there, but he's not a playmaker with his legs. But I just look at the state of this roster, and I don't like right now adding a quarterback, especially one with F injury and that I don't have full information on. I can do an individual workout and get some more, but I feel like I'm better off this year trying to build up a core and then adding a quarterback to it. What's going on, DJ? We're going to the next stage. Free agency has been unlike most of the free agencies that I've done. Still got a couple targets here. Ooh, we got Evan Brown. So we managed to bring in a few veterans. They're all under 30 years old. Reynolds doesn't exactly fit anything for the future. It's just to make sure we have a guy this year that maybe can play. But I like the way the depth is coming together now. We have $5 more million in space, and I'm probably going to keep that for the preseason, where I can then look to add like a punter and some other stuff. And I'm still trying to bring back Lonnie Johnson if he wants to take this low offer. It might just have to wait until preseason. Yeah, I don't think the Lions defense is great, but I think that as a whole, the team is pretty darn solid, especially in the NFC. I think that the next thing we want to see now is them go up against one of the better teams in the conference. They played Kansas City week 1, and obviously that was a game where the Chiefs had a million drops like the Philadelphia game, and they lost both of those. And then their other tough matchup they had was against the Ravens, and they got blown out. So who's the best NFC team they've faced to this point? Seattle, and they lost that game? Keenan could go to Atlanta. We got to stop the Patriots, man. Or stop the Falcons. Patriots were looking to get Mike Williams. Hopefully we don't play the Patriots if that happens. Broncos franchise was enough. I did trade Michael Thomas, yes, to the Denver Broncos to play with Sean Payton again. What's up, Kane? Maybe when I'm a member for 50 months, we can get a Seattle-based series. You know, for a city that's kind of had, well, I guess the Seattle Seahawks have been pretty good for majority of my YouTube time. But I do think about Seattle a lot, about how I haven't done a series there yet. Needs to happen at some point for sure. Yeah, I'm probably done here in free agency for now. So we've lost some veterans. We've added some cheaper free agents. It's about time to start moving this to draft mode. Be back in a minute. Bathroom break. What song is this? In the YouTube audio library, it's called We March Together. Be back in a minute. Draft mode activated. Could I please make a playlist with my non-copyright music? It's all from the YouTube audio library. It's not like stuff you're going to find on Spotify or anything, so I'm not sure if I'd really be able to do that. So we need to think about now the NFL draft and what we still need to add to this team. So I think that we're still looking at wide receiver. We got 3 guys right now, and we need 3 more. And then an interior offensive line starter wouldn't be a bad idea. Otherwise, Nick Saldiveri is probably next starter in line. Edge rusher, high priority of mine. We got 4 guys that can play, but can they play well? Debatable. An interior guy next to Brissy definitely a need. Inside linebacker, definitely a need. Cornerback, we mainly need depth there. And I like some corners in this class a ton. And then obviously starting safeties. Because we know Matthew's not going to be starting for long and we need more. Oh, I got Lonnie Johnson. He did end up signing back. So that low $1.5 million deal did get him back. So he's there. Hey, Kane, love all the sports content. I'm in year 2028. And I've gone 3 for 3 drafting superstar receivers just by looking for the fastest player. Interesting. A lot of times the fastest guys can't play that well. Kind of surprising. So we're going to look at private workouts now. And I know for sure I'm really interested in getting some info on a guy like Kentrell Samuel, because I can finish his profile and know what his talent is. So Samuel has first round athleticism to go with good short route running, good release, C deep route running. C catching, there's some stuff that's a work in progress here, but I think there's a lot to like with him. And right now, he's the player mocked to us. I'd like to finish his. Probably the only receiver that I would spend this on, because I'm so focused on defense right now. I think we have to look at some of the edge rushers and who could be realistic for us, either in the first round or with a trade back. So I think what we actually need to do right now is go to the mock and see who can we cross off. So I'm going to keep a little list here of the guys that I really shouldn't even think about. Obviously, Younger, Posey, Goodwin. Like, good thing that the top 5 picks are all projected to be edge rushers, right? It's like the main thing I want to get this year. And it's already like, there's not a blue chip guy in this class, really, from what I've seen. There's good players, and they're all projected to just fly off the board. The first 6. If you're the Patriots, are you drafting a quarterback in the top 5 or Marvin Harrison Jr.? I think you got to get Marvin Harrison because Belichick, he doesn't know how to find a receiver. It's got to be gift wrapped to him. Thing is, you could sign Randy Moss. If you don't take Marvin Harrison, Belichick's going to take somebody 2 rounds too early that has 33 career catches. Quincy Cummings. That might be the guy I need to get info on here. If I need it. I already have him 100%. So, Paul Browning. Power rusher projected in this range. We do like that athleticism overall, despite the acceleration. Yeah, Paul Browning. 95%. I'd hate to spend a workout just to get that 5%. I mean, realistically, if the Patriots have a chance to take, like, Caleb Williams, they should probably take it. But, you know, the Bears are probably getting that pick with the Panthers being as much of a disaster as they are. I'm sorry, Panther fans. It was supposed to be better this year. It was supposed to be a lot better than this. Hey, Matt, new member on the channel. I appreciate that. You're the first new member to join since the beginning of the stream. Hey, can we get to 500 likes? Is that greedy? Should I just be thankful for 316 because it's Thanksgiving? I kind of like 500. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of love here for James Bolden. Obviously, first round talent says a lot there. He's definitely one of my favorite targets. Quincy Cummings, definitely interested in him. F injury, that stinks. Oh, we're up to 400. I'm happy with 400. C to D injury here on Paul Browning. I might actually finish his profile because he might get the edge if his injury is, well, it's going to be better, but especially if it's a C, and depending where that finesse move lands. But already, maybe I just like him more. I want to ideally get the best information here. Probably Tommy Tomlinson, because he could go pretty early. He's 6'4", 199. And that's at 50. The individual workout is worth 50, isn't it? And then I think I want to use one on JoJo Sharp because I thought he had starting potential, but I need to kind of make sure of it. So I hope that I didn't lose that private workout thing. It's still there. Mac goes where after the Patriots have the top pick, though? Mac Jones, second team. Will somebody trade for Mac? He wasn't... I could see somebody trading for Mac Jones. Because he's on a rookie deal, then you get the fifth-year option. Like Sam Darnold got traded, and the Panthers picked up his option. Mac Jones. Next team will be... Oof. We're going to go NFC Atlanta. Because they're not going to be in line probably for a top 4 or 5 drafted quarterback. I don't think. Mac Jones to... And we're going NFC. The Atlanta Falcons. I wouldn't think the Vikings because I think it's becoming more and more evident that KOC really wants mobility in his next quarterback. Quick question. How do you become a channel member? There should be a join button. It is $4.99 a month. Helps support the channel. Appreciate it, Blitzkrieg Dragon, for the 57-month membership. But that join button is how you become a member. All right, so I wanted to get Tommy Tomlinson, JoJo Sharp, and Kentrell Samuel. Those were the guys I wanted to finish here. The 6'5" corner, he goes a lot later. I just take him. Like, I don't need more information. I'll just take him if I have a chance. It's those early picks I'm trying to get kind of more of a sure thing with. Is the join button on mobile? I think so. It should be. I don't see the button. It's usually next to subscribe. I don't know if there's differences between iOS, Android, and whether or not it shows up or what. All right, let's check out those profiles then. Kentrell Samuel. Ooh. Round 2 to 3 talent. I can't take him in the first round now. And especially if he's lower than his projection, his chances of being star dev are a lot lower. He's still like a good player. That's definitely a solid second round receiver, but not a first. But hey, if I trade down, maybe he sticks around for a while, right? JoJo Sharp. Is he strong safety? It didn't work. What happened? And it didn't work on Tomlinson. We got more issues here with this feature. Sim another week? Aren't I in draft week? Or am I in free agent recap week? I'm in draft week. I can't sim forward. I tested this when the game came out, and I had it. It was working fine for me. It's not working now. Oh well. I think I did it on the favorites screen too. I did. I made sure I changed to it just in case. Oh well. I don't mind the game making things a little more challenging on me. Welcome everybody. I'm gonna make sure the recording now has my webcam on there. It is draft time. This is what it's all about, right? We pick at 19 this year, and I think there's still a good chance we try to move out of the first round. We'll see how the board falls. First, second, 2 4s, 2 5s, 2 6s. And we need to get better defensively while also hopefully adding a receiver that can play as a rookie. It's going to be a challenge, guys. A free agent recap real quick. I got you. So, we had to obviously be really cheap in free agency. We didn't have a lot of money to spend, so we made some room, and we offered contracts to free agents that weren't really getting a lot of interest. So, here's everything we've done today. We signed Cesar Ruiz to a 3-year extension. We cut James Hurst and Tano Passanio to make some space. Traded Marcus May for a 4 and a 7, Michael Thomas for a 4. That gave us room and picks, which we then used to sign pass rushers James Houston and AJ Epinesa, two 25-year-olds. We brought in Josh Reynolds to replace Michael Thomas on a $3.8 million deal. We then signed Evan Brown and Lonnie Johnson as pure depth. BDT, new member, appreciate that. 2 new members have joined. The 6'5 corner, Stoudemire, he is projected to go in like the 5th round. So, he's projected to go in like the 5th round. I'll try to get in position earlier than that to have a chance at taking him. He's a day 3 guy. I didn't do any more scouting on him because there's enough to like and he's a day 3 pick. So, I mean, how risky is it to take him in the 4th round when he has A press, A man, and he's 6'5"? I don't need more info than that. Let's get into it. The Minnesota Vikings are the first team selecting. The mock drafts were telling us it's going to be heavy on the edge rush early. The Vikings will open our drafting in this series by taking Wake Forest defensive end Isaiah Younger. That's got to be the earliest player selected out of Wake Forest since Aaron Curry. The Indianapolis Colts are next. And the Colts select Chris Posey. We are getting that pass rusher start, it seems. Keenan Goodwin is the 3rd pick. He goes to Tampa Bay, and we're going to get familiar with him. Devin Faulkner from Missouri as the pass rushers go 1 through 4. And Jerry Adams makes it 5 in a row. It's unfortunate for us. The Jets at 6 go Travis Tyler to make it 6 straight pass rushers. The Patriots go offensive line, Keon McCann, Florida State. Someone's got to block those edge rushers. Washington goes Philip Mentor. We now have 8 defensive linemen, 1 offensive lineman. 9 defensive linemen. That's Alex Sampson going to Los Angeles. What a weird top 10. Pittsburgh, Brett Saunders. It's all trenches. All trenches. Seattle at 11. George Wheaton, another defensive lineman. Kirk McKee, a playmaker, is finally taken by the Miami Dolphins. And I think that's an excellent pick. I like the tight ends a lot in this draft. Denver is going to add a safety in Kevin Parker, the first defensive back taken in this class. Detroit at 14, Mike Cleary from Toledo. He is the highest drafted Wake Forest player ever, passing Norm Snead, who was drafted number 2 by Washington in 1961. How about that? DJ Morant, wide receiver out of Florida, is going to the Raiders. Michael, I appreciate you becoming a new member on the channel. Thank you. And to all the channel members and anybody thinking about it, the big perk that comes with the channel membership is every month I do a channel member live stream. And it's usually like an hour and a half or so where I talk a little bit about my thoughts on the channel, a little bit behind the scenes. And I'm usually getting like athletics franchise gameplay in there, or I'm doing something. Like in the last member stream, I went through the entire draft class and I was going through and making my board. So next week will be the channel member live stream for November. Is that? Oh, that's another new member. Alfonso, I appreciate that. Shout out to all the new members here and everybody chilling with us tonight. The Bears go John Hernandez, defensive tackle, Philadelphia. They didn't take anybody from Georgia. And the last pick before us, Kentrell Samuel. And we already know that he was a round 2 to 3 talent guy, a guy I still liked, but a guy who is no longer available. So, we have our pick of the first quarterback, if we want to go that route. The first running back. What about Shaq Patterson, the Heisman Trophy winner from Clemson? Maybe not right now. If we just look at my board, I've gone through the players that I like. It's hard to see us going offense. Really hard. There are some really solid offensive linemen, I will say that. But defense has been my focus. Appreciate it, Cam. Thank you for the super chat. I'm probably going to have to be trading down, I agree. Luke Swinton would have been a good player to finish the profile of, but the game probably would have screwed it up anyway. Defensive tackles. I'm not sure I like him enough. Quincy Cummings, I do really like. I wish I got more info on Tommy. I also like Paul Browning a lot. I think I like Browning more. If I had to stay and pick a player, Browning is probably my favorite. As far as pass rushers that have like first round skills here, Cage is more of a defensive tackle. Swinton is more of a defensive tackle. So there's Quincy Cummings, who's a little injury prone. And then there is Dalton Irwin, Paul Browning. Irwin, A block, shed, A power, C finesse. Little injury prone too. So there's 3 pass rushers there I feel pretty good about. Fairly even edge to Paul Browning. I do think the move, though, is probably trading down. But I don't want to go down too far from 19. We'll see. What am I getting? 25. I would pick up a future 3 and a current 6 from Buffalo. I could get next year's or 2 years from now's first from Cleveland. Didn't they give that one up for Watson, or is that actually supposed to be theirs? Quasi, what are you doing? Top of the second round, and we could pick up the Vikings 2 and 3 next year. Oh, that is going to be hard to pass on right there. Minnesota. What would they be moving up for? A future 2 and 3 would be huge for us next year. And we get some extra late picks out of it too. But we'd get nothing else for this year. The idea behind trading down was turning 19 one player into maybe 2 players this year. But it would still be 1 player. But 2025 draft picks, 2nd and 3rd. The Vikings picked number 1 in the draft this year. So they were the worst team in the league. Next year's 2nd and 3rd round picks could be pretty good. Exactly. It fixes next year's draft, hurting this one a little bit, and I still want to come away with some day one difference makers this year. So I wonder if we can work out a deal with Minnesota. Instead of that 3rd round pick in 25, can you give me a 3rd round pick this year? And then we can maybe knock off a 6 or 7. Let's see if we can do a manual trade with them. Because I love to have the Vikings' future picks. They don't look like a very good team. Oops. So they're 2nd. We'd move down. They don't have a 3 or 4. I got their 4 already with the Marcus May deal. Let's look at other offers. I love their offer. But, like, I need to get some players to start building this core now. A current 4 from Washington. Ooh, that wouldn't help us much right now. Ooh. 5 spots, pick up a current 3. That's... I feel better about that. Even that offer with the Falcons isn't bad. It's 1 pick behind Green Bay. But I don't want to help the Falcons move up for a 1st round player. I think the Green Bay deal is better. Down 5, get a 3 this year and a 7. I'm taking that. It's all 2024 picks. That Vikings one, in more average situations, would have absolutely been the deal I'd take. But there are players I like a lot in this class, and I'd like to get a shot at an additional player. The Packers move up for Dominic Strickland. Green Bay taking a defensive back in the first round. The Rams go Quincy Cummings. So that pass rusher domino continues to fall. Tyron Rich, D-tackle, going to the Ravens. Paul Browning going to the Tennessee Titans. Might have been my guy at 24. Shaq Parker to Kansas City. My guy went. Dalton Irwin is like the only like starter at edge rusher I really believe in still. He's got a spin as a counter move. Will utilize power and leverage. He's a very strong player. He might be like a really good Cam Jordan replacement in terms of like play style and everything. If he's got kind of that edge interior flexibility a little bit, A block shed, A awareness, A power. Like the fact that I can get a guy with pretty good athleticism with A power, A block shed this late in the first round when all those pass rushers were going. He's a little injury prone. And he's going to be a little stiff. Like, he's more strength in terms of his athleticism than, like, a really good mover. He's 6'3", 267. And, yeah, a little bit injury prone here, and that could be an F. Is he not really similar as a prospect to, like, a guy like A.J. Epinesa, who just kind of did whatever in Buffalo and we just signed him? Luke Swinton, interior player. You know, it's hard to take a 50% scouted guy in the first round like this. He's a defensive tackle, though, not an edge. B power, B awareness, F injury. A lot of injury prone players here. And then if I had my additional info on Tommy Tomlinson, man, like, there's an awful lot to like in his physicals, his press, and although his zone is a B, but he's a man-to-man archetype corner. That means his man is at least a B. This would not help our front seven, but we need like a cornerstone style player to start building around, I think. And Lattimore's already 29. Tommy Tomlinson could be the guy. And I think that he is best player available. You know, I can't force the 12th edge rusher, you know, in the first round. The safeties, I didn't get full scouting on them, is the issue. And even if I did, I feel like Tommy's still my guy. I'm glad we got that extra third round pick. Ideally, you start the draft whenever you do and take a guy who can be a big difference maker. And I think Tomlinson can be that type of guy. He is the first pick of the franchise. Tommy Tomlinson. 94 speed, hidden development, a 6'4" man-to-man corner. We have to just acquire talent, get younger, get faster. Might not be the position I expected to go early on, but we got him. And we pick again here mid-second round. And we're giving our defense an identity, too. Our secondary can be pretty nice, I think. Now we got a 1 through 4 that I think is going to be really, really strong. And possibly the successor to Marshawn Lattimore is now on the roster. I'll be editing rookies. I don't know if I'll be doing it here in this stream, but I know there's going to be a lot of editing to do and stuff. Justin Stark goes to Buffalo. Sergio Booker. Dak Hurd to Jacksonville. Jeremiah Campbell. Stephen Ross. Andy Olsen. Mac Van Buren and the Cowboys take Rashad Avant. The Vikings had wanted to move up, and the first quarterback has not been selected. I really want the Vikings to take the quarterback. They added Baker Mayfield. This has to be the quarterback. It is. So we can tell ourselves the Vikings had wanted to move up for Chad Watkins. They end up taking him top of the second round instead. That's what I wanted to see happen. That's a good story, too. The Colts go Niles Bayless. Second quarterback goes Jason Tracy to the Tampa Bay Bucks. We might have a new quarterback to see down there. I just want to check their roster. Get ready to see their new second-round quarterback. The Texans go Joe Gatson, the first running back, who wasn't even the Heisman Trophy winning running back. Andrew Mitchell. Alan Harrington. Elton Daniels. The Patriots take the second best tight end in the class. That's a very Patriots pick. Dalton Irwin goes to the Commanders. I'm going to be really curious how he turns out. And Luke Swinton is gone now. Desmond Cook. Steve Lewis. Richard Keys. All right. On the clock. When it comes to wide receiver 2, if I check out my board here, I'm kind of glad we went and got Josh Reynolds, because I wasn't a huge fan of this class. The Coldest Huff, the Richmond Spider. He's too raw as a route runner. He's probably just not that great. But he's a height, weight, speed, mid-round developmental guy. That's a 4th round player. What about the tight ends? If you want to add a playmaker here, Sebastian Murphy. I think he's got some field stretching skills. It would be a little bit of a risk because he's only at 50% here. all the tight ends are. I didn't scout a lot of them, but the information I did see is really intriguing. Still got 56 players on my board. Looking for like round 1 to 2 talent guys. This is Eli Kelly. That pass block finesse is a little concerning. He's probably a starting caliber guard, though. Luke Rowe was my favorite, though. At 50% with dominant athleticism, I'm really confident in him. A pass block finesse, B pass block. I think he's a day 1 starter. Defensively, still James Bolden out there. I should probably look a little bit at these safeties. One sec. Devontae Compton. C-man with B tackle and A to B zone coverage, B block shed. That's a day 1 starter at safety with a hybrid skill set. He's an average-ish athlete. I know that James Bolden's going to be probably a favorite of many. Here in the 2nd round, you can consider it because of his round 1 talent. Like, he probably goes earlier than his projection. It's just a matter of how early. He's a pure off-ball linebacker. I think he'll be a work in progress in coverage, but he's going to come in with A tackle, A hit power, A pursuit, B block shed, and he's got ridiculous athleticism too. So if you're trying to find that long-term Demario Davis replacement, I think look no further. Yeah. Bolden. Rowe. Compton. All favorites of mine. Let's see the available board. Compton is probably going soon. Hopefully your surgery went well. Take care. It did go well, Jerome. Thank you. First 5 days were pretty rough, but the 5 days came and gone. I'm feeling pretty good. I can breathe significantly better now. I had sinus surgery. Bolden's 41 on the available board, but I think that there's a good chance he goes before our 3rd round pick because of that true talent. Those guys can go earlier than expected. So I think you have a chance to maybe move back a little bit and still do well. But I don't think you want to move back too far. So our pick right now would be, what, 45? I don't think I like the trade downs. I don't feel confident about moving down to 63. And I just wanted to take a look again at what I have to work with here. 45, and then I think I have the ammunition to move up with 88. Here in the second round of the NFL draft, we're going to take Alabama linebacker James Bolden and get our second hidden development defensive player. Bolden, 86 speed, hidden development. Again, I don't trust his coverage. B, C, he's an outside linebacker. Those guys always stink in coverage. However, he's a good athlete, and we see he's got hidden development, so the coverage can come with time. All right. Bengal, it's not an L. You're a Giant fan. The hell you know about linebackers? How's it going, buddy? Let me save my game quick. I mean, like, linebacker is, like, probably the least important position on the field, so the Giants' recent history at that position isn't the biggest problem. Bobby Okereke over Prime Eric Kendricks. I think I need to sit you down to watch a little Prime Eric Kendricks from, like, 2019, 2020, 21. The guy was ridiculous. All right, I guess we're probably going to move up at some point again. But we're 40 picks away from our spot, so we really need to get some distance here. No, I'm not playing on the cloud. I'm offline. There goes Eli Kelly, starting caliber guard, I felt. Gilbert Cage. Romeo Cooks. Eagles go running back, and the Heisman Trophy winner is still out there. Eric Bonner. Stan Edwards. I'm curious here if the trade finder is goofy when it comes to, like, doing pick swaps in the draft, or if they're just going to be like, yeah, we'll take your third safety, your second running back, and your 5th round pick. I just want to know what the price is. Actually, I'm going to remove... Can I do the trade finder without throwing anything in there? Yeah, we'll do it for a 2nd round pick 2 years from now, a 3, another 3, a 4. Yeah, it's a little steep right now. A little too steep. We want to see you draft Jeremy Bonderman. Been a Saints fan since birth. I live in Louisiana. Appreciate you trying to save the Saints. Who dat? Appreciate it, David. I'm doing my best here with what I got, and it ain't much right now. I was literally cutting players who were on the practice squad because it would make my cap space look a little better in the offseason. There goes Compton. I couldn't get everybody here that I liked. He would have been an option to start day one. And there goes the Heisman Trophy winning running back to Kansas City, Shaquille Patterson. All right. Very interesting pick. Packers, you know, they got to take their running back now in Josh Raymond. I like the Bills going receiver there. Not somebody who was on my board, though. Is there a salary dump you could think of to move up? I kind of did my salary dumps already. Marcus May and Michael Thomas were traded to make money. JoJo Sharp to Jacksonville. He was on my board. Anton Haggins. Travis Pryor. So there's a coverage linebacker. And now Bengals Giants. Linebacker. You think the Giants took a better linebacker than I did? Colin Detmer, the Oregon State Beaver. I kind of want to get to the third round because I imagine the trade value on some of these picks could drop. I don't know if Madden does it that way, where like just because it's a third round pick, it might be a little bit cheaper, or if they're purely looking at like pick number itself. Sebastian Murphy, Brian Middleton. All right. I am once again attempting to trade. Right? Tennessee's taken some guys I like. That was my last team I fixed up. I wanted them to kick back and ignore me for a while, but they're taking my dudes. Ooh, we can make this work. We should be able to make this work. What's it going to cost me on top of the 4? I think we're going to have a deal. All right, we move up. We give a 4th and a 5th round pick to the Lions, moving up our current 3rd because I want to go get a starting caliber player. Another player, like, if I were to have guessed anybody would have hidden dev in this class, it would be him. Outside of, like, the top guys on the board, but when I look at a guard whose athleticism is good or better in every single category, and he's got a pass block finesse, I'm kind of done scouting him at that point. I know enough. Luke Rowe, hidden development, and a probable day 1 starter. Let's go. I feel like Madden kind of gift wrapped that one to me. 3 for 3 on hidden dev, which is the start we needed. Better save my game. And now with all that being done, I'm not sure there needs to be more trade-ups. However, in Madden, once you get to the 4th or 5th round, if you just like offer a team like a 7th round pick, they'll usually let you move up. So if you want to go get your guys, that's one way to do it late. If you can accumulate some extra 7th or 6th round picks, those late trade-ups are pretty simple. So we still, this is kind of inconvenient here, but I think we have 108, 137, 179, 182, and 216. Pretty good. I feel pretty good about what we're doing this offseason, but we are one Chris Olave injury from absolute panic mode at wide receiver. Having Josh Reynolds, A.T. Perry, and nothing after that, besides practice squad talents from last year. I really wanted to come away with a receiver, but the one that I liked a lot ended up with 2nd to 3rd round talent and went before we picked in the 1st round. So that kind of stunk. The guys I still really like, Jacoby Pearman. I think that as a one-dimensional deep threat, I mean, this guy ran 4.2. This is the Rashid Shaheed replacement. A spec catch, a deep route running, runs 4.2. I already drafted a 6'4" corner. You know what's better than a 6'4" corner? How about a 6'5" cornerback? Tyrell Stoudemire. I'm going to create the new Legion of Boom, possibly in 1 year. And I guess we'll see what else could possibly fall. I think there are some decent tight ends in this class. But... oh, and I never added an edge rusher. Y'all better hope that James Houston and AJ Epinesa are enough. Because I don't know if I'm going to do a whole lot more outside of a UDFA or two. And these safeties, too, might be able to play a bit. Johnny Columbus here has speed, and he's got more of the hybrid skill set, but it's only in C. Like, C-man and C-zone coverage aren't going to be great, but developmental hybrid safety, definitely an interest of mine. We'll see how this falls. Gary Doyle. And there goes Johnny Columbus. Already gone. It's over a full round until we pick again. Stoudemire must be drafted. He's top guy on my board right now. Absolutely. There goes Casey Walker. Quarterbacks are going. Daniel Whittington, that's a good guard to go here. This is the available board right now. The main guy I want to know here, where is Troy Stoudemire? Not in the top 50. And he is currently the 14th cornerback on the board. Clearly, he's not regarded highly as a prospect, despite being 6'5" with speed, man, and press ability. You tell me there's 25 corners in this class better than him? I beg to differ. There was one, and we got him already. Chris Sambucci. Move Stoudemire to safety. I was thinking about moving him to small forward. Deion Grant. Seattle. Wide receiver. I'm going to take a look at my trade down offers here quick. 4 times 32. Or no, 3 times 32, 96 plus 12, 98, 108 is our pick right now, right? Yeah, trade downs aren't any good. Hey, Kane, happy Thanksgiving. I'll be flying to Houston to watch my Jags play the Texans this weekend. The Jacksonville fans are traveling. Let's go. I love it. That should be a fun one. I'm excited to see that game. I wish that was a primetime matchup. I've been begging for primetime Stroud, but They did not schedule the Texans for any primetime games early in the year. Good thing we've gotten at least 4 or 5 Jets games, though. And Giants, and it's just Jets every week, I feel. Broncos. The Jags fans are traveling. Y'all better watch out. Duval's on the move. This is my chance to go receiver, possibly. A 6'5" wide receiver. The coldest Huff. The only issue is that I don't think he's ready to play early on. And there's a lot to do. To be fair, I live in Washington. Just happen to be a Jags fan. Still a Seahawks fan as well. You're covering every region of the country, my friend. Have fun. In Houston, H-Town. Jacoby Pearman. The chat is blowing up for Jacoby Pearman right here. Wide receiver. Looking at the board, he's 27th. Tyrell Stoudemire's 36. I'm taking Tyrell Stoudemire. Normal development on him. I can find another Jacoby Pearman or a similar player. I can't find another Tyrell Stoudemire outside of the guy I already drafted. I don't know how ready he's going to be, but our 1 through 5 at cornerback, it's going to be pretty darn good. And if we have to move off of Lattimore, or maybe even now this makes an option of trading a guy like Alontae Taylor more possible. Or Paulson Adebo, but we're really prepared now for what's after Marshawn Lattimore. And we're giving this defense a real identity with the 2 biggest cornerbacks in the class. Stoudemire at safety? We could possibly consider, but he's a man cover guy. I don't know what his zone's going to be. I think I'd be interested in one more possible trade up. If it's cheap. To get the receiver. They won't do it for the 7. They won't quite do it for the 6 yet. Maybe my my late round move here isn't as easy as it once was, but I'm trying to move up like 25 spots. So it's a little steep there. Let me move closer to the end of the 4th round and see if I can do it there. All right, we made it past Tennessee. They've been weird today. Made it past KC, who loves those fast receivers. Got to survive Atlanta. He's still 20th. And the 4th receiver. I don't think he's the next receiver to be drafted. That's why I'm continuing to sim. Tommy Macklin was on my board, but I have a linebacker I already took. But he was a true coverage linebacker. The coldest huff. I'm so close. I've missed on my guys far too many times, though. I'm using my 7 to move up. I'm taking wide receiver Jacoby Pearman out of Texas Tech. Another normal dev player, but oh my, 98 speed, 98 acceleration, 97 agility, 93 change of direction. I just took Deion Price. It doesn't matter what happens from here. This draft has played out pretty perfectly for me. Got to give him number 9 because he's going to be running all the go routes. I like it. I like that. Is 9 available? What did Shaheed wear? Why am I picturing him in number 9? I don't know if that's right. Yeah, Marcus May was 9. 9's available. Yeah, Shaheed wore 22. That's right. He wore a goofy running back number. Receivers should not be wearing numbers in the 20s. Like, if Sky Moore was number 12 instead of 22, I think he'd have at least triple the yards. Yeah, 9 is Drew Brees. Is it actually retired? Do I have to go to 19? I think Drew would want a dynamic rookie to wear his number. Yeah, is Marcus May actually out there with number 9 right now? He's gotta. Marcus May is wearing 6, guys. That's upside down. I was fed bad intel. Give him Price's 11. Deion Price from the Broncos franchise. He's almost a carbon copy. Be pretty cool if there was anything left on the board that like really helps us out, be it depth at a certain spot we haven't addressed yet, or maybe some sort of contributor. Let's see if we get lucky. Anyone at edge? Like, that'd be nice if there's just an edge on my board that's there. If you're in my favorites, you can be drafted. Devin Einstein. Love it. I'm on the clock. The board has 3 players, a punter, a corner. I've already taken 2. And a pass coverage linebacker. Michael Barr. He's not very strong. He's only got okay speed, but he's got A zone and B man coverage. C tackling. So unfortunately, he doesn't really have good like skills for playing special teams, and that would kind of be his role right away. But he's there. And then Georgia punter, Jack Becker. I don't know if I'm picking for my favorites board. Is there an edge rusher that can just show me a freaky combine or something? B finesse? Chester Hayward? You can't be picky. I also have not taken a safety. That's okay athleticism here on Joe Hyde. C to F man, C zone. He is a zone archetype, so that man is probably not all that good. Jermaine Johnson was supposed to go a lot earlier and has just fallen far, but he's slow and doesn't appear to have cover skills. Here's a hybrid safety, though, as B to C man. Not athletic enough. A to C man coverage. You can't play man at 4-7. Huh. Now we're going to tight end. This man ran a 4.97. I'm trying to make the most out of this 6th round pick, guys. That's a lot of traits. So a power-oriented edge, Raheem Graham. He's so one-dimensional, though. But maybe. Or do we just go Chester Hayward, the speed rusher? Definitely a more well-rounded athlete at this stage of the draft. If I spend the most time on this pick, I'm going to take Chester Hayward. Now we got another edge rusher to battle. Oh yeah, I got to check the schedule. I'm excited to see who we got in like week 1 and what our schedule's like. Time for our final pick. Unless I trade back. I could pick up an extra 6 next year just by going to the 7th round instead. I'll do that. Best Madden content ever. Been watching since the Minnesota Vikings franchise. Appreciate that, Harley. It's been a long, long time, man. 12 plus years now. Thank you so much. You know what this does, moving down from the 6th to the 7th round? Is it probably saves us about $20,000 to $30,000 in cap space. Because now this player is going to be on a smaller contract. I don't know what the actual number is. but it's going to save us a little bit of money. I'm just trying to be responsible. Seventh round pick. We could take the punter and just have a cheap punter contract. Jack Becker. Only player on the board. I'm going to take a punter. Have a cheap 4-year punter contract. We need that. 93 kick power. There we go. That's our new punter, Jack Becker, who has 79 speed. He's got B short accuracy. He might... Do we have a two-way player here? I can probably stop doing this. I think that was a success. Derek, new member. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. That B short accuracy is not compared to quarterbacks. I know. But he's an above average throwing punter, that's for sure. I try to take teams I haven't done before, but sometimes I have duplicated teams. Just, you know, time passes and eventually teams are interesting again. And there's probably going to be a lot more of that because I've done so many series, but certain teams make sense and certain ones don't. I have to make more cap space. My God. So I have to clear a little space, guys. I do need to do my draft recap. So, our goal this year was to get younger and faster defensively, and I think we took our first 2 big steps towards that, and our overalls look really good. Tommy Tomlinson, a 77 overall. And he's got 94 speed, 78 man, 78 zone. He's not much of a tackler. Unfortunately, his hands aren't very good either. And he's a little injury prone. I should probably check that out, Mike. That's a good call. Thank you. Tommy Tomlinson. The injury-prone part of it is a little unfortunate, but I feel like there was no avoiding the injury risk with a lot of these players. There's so many injury-prone players. James Bolden, what's the coverage? 60. I knew it would be bad. We got to work on it. We got to work. But I think we got another really good player. Luke Rowe, likely a day 1 starter at guard. He's going to struggle, though, with power right off the bat. We have to try to fix that as fast as we can. Somebody already made a Jacoby Pearman account. Troy Stoudemire was a cornerback for the Gophers. Tyrell Stoudemire. '81 man, 62 zone, 78 press, 57 catching, so probably not a two-way player. Checking out Tommy here again. You know, you might want to consider the possibilities of him playing a little safety as a rookie, but we'll see. Here's a guy who could be an X factor. Jacoby Pearman. He's going to lose that 26 real quick. He's got deep route running, 67 catching to go with his 98 speed. Oh boy, this is going to be something. Look at him as a running back. That's probably a pretty good idea. I am curious what his overall would be at running back. Darius Hayward Bay. At running back, he'd be a 68. He lacks the vision, carrying, break tackle, trucking. And then we go Chester Hayward. And he's a 68, but anybody is going to get a chance to play. I don't care who it is. Whoever produces is going to play. Chester Hayward's got as good a chance as anybody. And then our punter, Jack Becker. He's actually a bad thrower, unfortunately. The fake punt is ruined. And that's our first class of the series. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm really excited about it. So all those edge rushers were going early, right? Number 1 pick, Isaiah Younger to the Vikings. Wake Forest rookie. I mean, he's definitely fine, but like his athleticism doesn't jump off the board, and he's a one-dimensional player. Sure, he's hidden dev, and he's 23. Like, the top of this class left a lot to be desired. Chris Posey is really more of a defensive tackle. Keenan Goodwin. So here's a guy we're going to have to deal with. He has hidden dev, good pass rusher, finesse, speed. Yep. That should be a good pick for them. Devin Faulkner, Jerry Adams, Travis Tyler. And then we got, here's the Dolphins' first round pick, Kirk McKee. .6'6", 235, 89 speed. Going to be a work in progress with route running. But I think he's got a chance to be one of the best tight ends in our franchise. He's also injury prone because all the interesting players in this class were. Really wish you didn't kick me back to the very top there when I'm going through players. I did want to see Kentrell Samuel. 73 overall, and that wasn't good enough for the first round. He might have been more like a 33rd ranked player or something then. He's still a 73 overall hidden dev receiver. Yeah, that's first round ability to me. After all. Late first. Nothing here is elite, but very capable player. For sure, we got to check on Paul Browning, because he might have been our pick had he actually been there. Hidden dev, power rusher. I wanted to start this draft with an edge rusher like I did in the Tennessee Titans franchise. Yeah, injury prone as well. But a really solid day one starter. There was also Quincy Cummings, who we knew was injury prone. He ended up with normal dev. But he's very solid. And 78 injury. And then the Vikings ended up going Chad Watkins. I passed on quarterback this year, saying that it's not the right time, and I'm not sure that this is the right player either. Watkins has hit in development at 72 overall. He has a strong arm. He can throw on the run. His accuracies are going to need some time. I don't think he would have been bad, but this just didn't feel like the team where it just didn't feel like the right time or place, you know. I'm okay with another year of Carr and then thinking about it next season. But I really wanted to start building a core of this team before the quarterback. I didn't really have a top player. Like, I wasn't really excited about the top of the class. DJ Morant. Ooh. Raiders, that was a nice pick. And I'll be going through these CPU teams and editing for them as well. I want to give guys cool equipment and numbers, and when we come across them in the series, you'll see what I have there. Or we'll never play them and we'll never see them. You know, that's possible as well. Here's a quarterback that's going to be starting, I think, for Tampa. Jason Tracy. When we check the schedule, we would ideally want to see the Buccaneers as early as possible, because you want to face these rookie quarterbacks before they can really develop. And Tracy's going to need a lot of developing. He's a strong arm quarterback. He's got 99 throw power. He can run a little bit too. I'm looking for some players here that I wanted to see because of it kicks me back to the top every time I back out. Bills, they finally got another counterpart here for Diggs after they re-signed Gabe Davis. So Montrell Williams. That's a good pick. Yeah, we have to check the coldest tough. '75 overall corner in the 3rd round as well for Tampa. Joey Nance. Normal dev. Helps that he's a 75, though. Doesn't need to develop as far. Devin Faulkner, Jerry Adams. Oh, yeah, they had 4 and 5. And they went with 2 edge rushers and then a cornerback at 76 overall and a safety at 75. Jonathan Columbus ended up with 75 overall. Ooh, he'd be starting for us if we took him. What else we got here? That's a really good class for the Arizona Cardinals. The Chargers, how about their defensive upgrade here in this class? That's really promising. Loving the series, Kane. Thanks for making my days with these uploads as well as the A series. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Cheers. Cheers to you, Ralph. I appreciate that very much. You have a good Thanksgiving, and everybody else. I hope you all have a good day tomorrow, and that tonight was hopefully a good way to get you prepped for Thanksgiving. Have a fun Wednesday night. You got football starting like 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Shaquille Patterson. This is the Heisman Trophy winner. He had hidden dev. 5'11", 233 with 90 speed. They just took Clyde Edwards-Helaire all over again. That's all this is. But actually worse because Clyde could catch coming out of LSU. Luke Swinton. Yeah, we can check his dev trait. It is hidden. There were a lot of good edge rushers in this class. There really were. Dalton Irwin, I also considered him in the first round even. And I don't think he would have been bad. You know, these pass rushers, they can have good ratings and not perform. They can have okay ratings and perform. It really is a bit of a dice roll at times with them. Super injury prone. How many of those Charger players are hidden dev? Sampson, their edge rusher. Swinton, the other edge. Ben McQueen. Getting serious with this defense. So all three guys in the front seven for them had hidden dev. That's pretty scary. They needed that. That's huge. Cowboys made the most of their picks, it appears. Ooh, 77 receiver as well? Jeez, Miami. That's a 76 overall linebacker running back going to the Eagles. Khaled Thomas. That's nice. The Falcons took Sergio Booker, normal defensive tackle. And then they took Justin Woods, also normal. Oh yeah, Huff is on the Eagles. That's right. The coldest Huff was a 69 overall normal development. Very raw. And honestly, just an average athlete with above average size. This is basically like Denzel Mims. San Francisco made their receiver pick count. He's got run after the catch skill. Here's the linebacker the Giants took. Pretty similar to Bolden. They took a 75 overall running back at the bottom of the 4th round. He can't catch. They got a power back. The Jaguars had a huge class. Wow. And I didn't get my extra info on JoJo. I still like how my draft went, but JoJo was what I was looking for. Exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, the salary cap situation was actually a big reason why I chose this team, AJ. I wanted that challenge, and I honestly think year 2 is going to be more challenging than year 1 because I got the benefit of about $30 million in cap rollover that I didn't have to clear, and Cam Jordan retired. So I basically got $50 million gifted to me almost, cap-wise. I still had to make moves to get under the cap, and I'm over the cap right now by about $4 million. And I haven't yet figured out what I'm doing there. It's probably going to be a restructure. Lions. 77 corner, 77 center. They took the first cornerback of the class. Cleary. Zone specialist. That's why he wasn't so much on my radar. Because I like man cover corners. The Packers traded up with us to take Dominic Strickland. How do you restructure in Madden? I'll show you here soon. There were some good running backs here after all. A 76 to the Patriots here. So Darnell Greenwood was another quarterback that I actually had interest in for a backup, but when the chat reminded me of Jake Haener, I realized he was probably a good fit, and this skill set's almost identical to Jake Haener, but I didn't have to spend a pick. Brandon Lewis. He was on my board. Brandon Lewis was on my board. I only had like 6 receivers there, but I liked him. I'm excited about our class. I think that this offseason went pretty well for us, all things considered. Texans kind of dropped the ball here. That's one of the worst classes, I think, overall-wise, that we've seen. And the Titans, Devontae Compton was a 75. The Vikings got the #1 edge rusher, the best quarterback, and Tommy Macklin was a 73. He was also on my board. Hidden dev coverage. Wow. That's a really good pick. And they got him in the 5th round. A pass coverage outside backer was good. I'm as shocked as you are, Grant. That almost never happens. Hidden dev 73. That's shocking. So looking at just pure overall, Tommy Tomlinson was actually tied for highest overall player in this class. So pretty good that we came away with, you know, one of the best overall players. We didn't get the fastest player, though. There were 299 speed receivers. Desmond Poole also had hidden dev. When did they take him? They took him before we took Jacoby Pearman. Or no, he went after. Never mind. It was Greenwood who went before. Wow. But he didn't have the deep route running or the release. So he's got hidden development, but he's going to need that just to catch Pearman's deep route running and release. However, he has much better hands. So there were some good speedsters here in this class. Now, I don't know if y'all can see this behind my webcam here. Ooh, Jacoby Pearman, best spin move in the class. '85 hands was the best. There's going to be a lot of position battles in preseason. I think right away you got to look at edge rusher, safety, wide receiver 3, and I guess 2 also. We had 299 throw power quarterbacks. Who's this quarterback the Packers took? But yeah, I know I'm going to have to restructure here because I'm over the cap. Not often I enter preseason over the salary cap. And this is why I think next year's offseason is going to be tough, because I have the benefit right now of 33.7 rollover. That's cap space from last year we didn't use. which shouldn't have been there. Like, that's just an inaccurate Madden thing. But now, clearly, I'm not going to have a lot of cap space to roll over to next year. And these cap hits, they get big in 2025. So we have to get under the cap. I think I need to cut Juwan Johnson. And then re-sign him. He only has 1 year left. I think I need to cut Johnson just to get some space right now. Sim to next week first? Yeah, I should do it in the next stage. Get past the draft recap, yes. Because then we'll know what our true number is. I all of a sudden have 8 million in space. I can still consider cutting Johnson to make room, though. Here's our schedule for this year. I've been wanting to see this. So, it's going to open against Tampa Bay. That's literally perfect. We play a rookie quarterback debut in our first game. And then we get the Bears on the road, the Broncos, the Raiders and their new top receiver, DJ Morant, Bengals, the first meeting with the Falcons, Cowboys, Panthers, Commanders, the Bucks again, Eagles. Our NFC schedule looks a lot tougher. And then the Rams, Giants. We play the Chiefs this year. We play the entire AFC West. And I thought those teams did a really good job in the offseason. The Chargers nailed their draft. The Raiders got some difference makers. Why is our last game not against a division opponent, though? Come on, Madden. It's definitely a tougher AFC schedule compared to last year because we also play the Bengals. And we play the Eagles and Cowboys this year when we didn't a year ago. I think it's a tougher schedule. So just looking at our roster now this way. 2 quarterbacks. I should probably add a running back. I haven't talked about running backs all off season. I've tried to be smart. Jacoby Pearman. And I have to move guys to different positions and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm probably going to do a lot of that off recording. It's more busy work. So I'll balance out some of these spots. You know, like all our edge rushers here are at right end. I'm probably going to move Bolden to middle linebacker and have him actually get mentored by Demario Davis. Why is my audio like popping out there? I want to see who's available at safety as well. All right, so I have a little bit of money that I can use to sign a few UDFAs. Why don't we take a look? I mean, Jermaine Curse, or J-Ron Curse, I mean, if you just want to, play a veteran there, but I still like the idea of playing somebody young who has a chance to grow. Like, that's what our roster needs right now. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to just go and sign like a 30-year-old safety. I forget how the mentoring works at quarterback. As long as they're there, I should be able to get the benefit of it, right? Because I wouldn't mind having Dalton on the bench to help Hainer a little bit. At running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm going to sort by catching. Leonard Fournette, Myles Gaskin, Chase Edmonds. So here's the best pass catching backs available. Brian Johnson, 5'5", 172 with 87 speed. And star development, why isn't it hidden? I have a lot of questions. First of all, you're really small. Second, you're not that fast. But he's got star dev. This could be Darren Sproles. Of course I'm going to sign him. Brian Johnson. We get the smallest running backs and the biggest corners. That's our style. I just signed the most interesting undrafted running back ever, Mike. So that's the main thing. I would like a running back that can catch that also has some speed, but that's a harder combination to get. 27 years old. Marcel Orchard. He could be a practice squad running back, I think. I can only sign so many UDFAs, though, because they're actually getting, like, decent little salaries here instead of what they should get as undrafted players. Hey, Jawan Jennings is still there. So is Chase Claypool. So if you want to add another receiver to like compete with Reynolds, that option is there. You doing a Saints franchise makes me miss Swami. I don't know if you guys ever interacted. I'm good friends with Swami, yeah. I don't talk to him all the time, but me and him are very much alike. We get along really well. I've known Swami for a long time. Jalen Smith. Definitely not adding a veteran corner unless we could get a mentor. Because that would actually be really good for our rookies. I want like the cheapest mentor available. Xavier Rhodes. I love Xavier Rhodes. Oh, but Jason Verrett. Rhodes is 6'1". He has a lot more to teach our big corners than Jason Verrett does, I think. Or maybe Verrett can help shore up their weaknesses. I'll come back to that. I actually really want to look at safety, though. Loie Gilman. I already know he wasn't a fit. We checked on him earlier. I think we're just going to roll with Jordan Howden. And, you know, safety doesn't always make a huge difference in Madden, it feels like. So I guess we'll see. We're going to do the old hope for the best. Practice squad eligible players. You know, I should probably look at some of the undrafted edge rushers. But I like more than 63 overall, possibly. That's too bad. Daniel James from the Mount Union Purple Raiders, Division III football. Maybe a practice squad guy. Maybe. I had Kyron Johnson for a little bit in the Titans series. And you know what? His speed worked. It did the job. I'm going to sign, I don't know. QB? I don't really know that I'm going to take a QB. I think I'm okay with Hayner. Throw under pressure at 62. That's just too low. And you know I'm going to be facing pressure in this series. Can we get some Tiffin Dragons love? Number 2 team in D2. I haven't found any Tiffin players yet today, Mike. How's it going? Malik Cunningham. I might add him to the practice squad later or something. Yeah, where are all the Tiffin players at? Shout out to, who's the receiver that went to Tiffin? Was it Nate Washington? Oh, you want to see the ratings on that running back? Yeah, check this out. He is Darren Sproles, kind of. He's 5'5", 172, only has 87 speed, but good acceleration and agility. So he's not fast in a 40-yard line, but in a messy, you know, actual running back running scenario, he's got quickness and pass catching skill. You know, passing up on Brissett's not a great idea, considering every series I do, he ends up turning into like Geno Smith last year, but even better. Yeah, he's got a 62 trucking. He's 5'5". He's not trucking anybody. I'm not even sure we can actually play him if we're outdoors. The wind might carry him away. He can only play in domes. I'm not going to get to any practice tonight. I'm going to get out of here and get some dinner. It's 8:30? Oh, okay. I'm hungry. I get so hungry after a stream. Oh, yeah. Chris Ivory played for a season at Tiffin. I do remember Ivory. I don't forget too many running backs. There's going to be some more UDFAs and whatnot. I'm probably going to take my time and mess around and probably get to that today or Friday or something. I don't think I'll have any videos coming out tomorrow. I'm probably going to hold what I got for Friday, Saturday. Not trying to compete with 3 NFL games and Thanksgiving tomorrow, so I think I'll hold what I have. I have to look into where I can get mentors because there are a lot of spots where it would be beneficial for us. But I think that was a successful offseason. Hey, Derek Carr is already a mentor. I don't have to do anything there if I don't want to. Sir Macaroni. Been watching you for almost 8 years now. Absolutely love the content and the reason why I keep detailed accounts, all my franchise mode legends. That's what I'm talking about. Much love from Canada. I appreciate that, Macaroni Man. I think that was a successful offseason, and under the circumstances, it's hard to ask us to come out of it better than that. I'm pretty happy. Now, I will say there's a lot of problem areas on this team. Like, outside of Chris Olave, is there I hope that people stay healthy and whatnot. Like, it could get scary, but it could also just be fine. You know, we have Olave, Johnson, Kamara, and then you got this speedy Jacoby Peterman. I'm excited to get to these preseason games, though, that's for sure. We got rookies to take a look at, UDFAs coming in. It should be a good time. So, yeah, this week with Thanksgiving is obviously one of those weirder weeks just because of the holiday, but I have videos that are set to come out Friday, Saturday. I don't post usually Sundays during football season anyway. So I'm thinking Monday. I guess what's next is probably the edited off season. And I think that would come out Monday. And then streaming the preseason next week. And also wrapping up UTSA's season is another priority. And I have a good jump on that. So we're going to do preseason stuff next week. Get ready for week 1. And then we're going to see how much a year 2 we can crank out in the month of December. You ever think of uploading certain rosters of teams? You know, it'd be fun to bring back some older rosters. It's just the game isn't super flexible with that. I have to manually edit everything. And I think it would just take a lot of time. I'd love to bring back old teams and stuff, but I wish it was easier to export teams. Are we ever going to get a Super Sim franchise again? Yes, Patrick. I am looking to start up a slow sim franchise in December on the second channel. It is one of the next things I look to do. I've been thinking about it the last couple days. We're going to get to some football there on the second channel here shortly. And it's been high in demand, that's for sure. I get questions every day about it. So I think that's going to be where I end today's action. Y'all have a good Thanksgiving. Be smart on Black Friday. Both with your time and your money. I mean, standing in line all day at some of these places is probably not worth it. But if you can score a deal online from your couch, that's something else. Y'all have a great Thanksgiving. And hopefully a long weekend for a lot of you. I'll have an A's video coming out Friday and UTSA video coming out Saturday. And then we're focusing on the Saints preseason and stuff next week. I am really looking forward to it. Training camp, that's right. Still got to get to that. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see ya in the next one.